What's up, Internet? This is Rambling Josh, and you're watching another episode of Let's Play Breath of Fire 2. Since last time, as I said I would do, I have spent some time grinding up Jean. I changed up my party a little bit halfway through grinding just to give everyone a little bit of a chance at leveling. Specifically, I want to get Sten up a little bit more because I'm actually going to be using him, I think, for this next portion. Even though he's not all that good right now, but that could change. I haven't 100% decided yet. But anyways, the point to leveling up Jean... Well, let's leave this area first. The point to leveling up Jean was the fact that at level 14 he learns Warp, which is an extremely useful ability. And it's a good thing it's so useful, because without it, well, Jean wouldn't have much point existing, because he's kind of terrible. But anyways, we want to warp back to Township. Township is the name of the hideout place. So, we finally have a way of getting back here without having to walk across like the entire known world. Like, that is how far we have traveled on foot so far. And traveling back across that is pretty annoying, honestly. But anyways, back here in Township, we can see that the town is kind of like halfway under construction. A bunch of empty houses are around here. Do they have anything in them yet? Apparently they do. That's handy. F-Spice. I believe that is another item that casts like a spell when you use it. Charcoal, that's pretty much useless. I guess it's just the 3 houses and then this house for the carpenter. So, depending on what carpenter you picked, because we have the choice between the 3, each carpenter builds a different kind of house for themselves. And each house, different house comes with different features. So this guy, he will cook things for you. So you give him any 2 items. Is it 2, or is it more than that? I'm not sure. But anyways, you give him a couple items, and he will combine them. And there are certain combinations that can actually make some pretty useful stuff. I chose that one because it just seemed the most useful to me. The carpenter that builds the houses that are on the big legs, what he has in his house is kind of like a big game of Othello, where he has a board with a whole bunch of items on it, and you have to collect items called Tolan. We found one of them already in Capitan, but every Tolan you get, you can throw it on the board, and it throws it on the board in a random spot. And any item that is sandwiched in between 2 Tolans, he gives you that item. So that's kind of interesting. Some of the items are kind of good, but it's extremely random, and it's not really reliable. And the final carpenter, the one who builds the giant like Arabian palace style buildings, he opens a bar where you can kind of talk to the patrons, I guess, and they will give you stats on your playtime, or not your playtime, but stats in general, like how many dressers you've examined and stuff like that. So this is this interesting thing at the bottom of the well, which we can't do anything with. So yeah. So I don't know if we can actually do it yet, but part of the reason for Township here is we can actually recruit people from around the world to come and join our village. Some of the characters that we've encountered so far that have had names that don't have anything like obvious that they're important for, that's the only reason they have a name, is because they can come here. So I don't think anyone here has anything special to talk to us about. So I guess I'll just grab the same party. Or do I want to grab the same party? I guess I want Rand, Sten, and I need Jean at least for now. How shall I do this? Let's actually go with Sten, Nina, and Jean for the time being. We'll change that around a little bit later, but for now, what I want to do is we come to this side house, and this is where the shaman exists. Divide ball, or whatever it's called. So they have this little fancy area for their combinations that they were working on. And thankfully, we can do these combinations now whenever we want. No thanks. I said no! Why are you giving me the explanation? Shut up! Okay, so like they said, we get to choose one of our party members, and I believe you can only choose the 4 in your party. It certainly seems that way, considering we can't access Rand or Cat right now. And when you choose one of them, you get to choose one of the shaman that you have. So Sana is the fire shaman that came with Granny, and Sesso is the water shaman that we freed from the witch's tower. So every character has different affinities with different shamans, and you can combine up to 2 shaman with a character at a time. And it's predetermined what the effect of combining that set of shaman with that character will do. And there's typically one of 4 results. The first is failure. So, for example, no matter what, you can never combine any shaman with Ryu. It will always fail. And similarly, some characters just can't combine with certain elements. For example, I'm pretty sure, I won't be able to do any fusions with Cat for a very, very long time. However, I guess there's actually 3 other possible combinations, or effects rather. I'll start with Nina. If we combine Nina with Sesso, the water shaman, then the effect of this combination should be that Nina has no visible difference. So you can see that she looks exactly the same. But if we look at her stats, then you probably can't really tell. Oh, maybe you can tell. But she has a huge boost in wisdom from that. And that's because she combined with the water shaman. Water shaman typically gives wisdom. Okay, so the yes and no of do you need an explanation are just inexplicably flipped. Anyways, the second result you can have before I talk about that, we can see that Nina is already combined with Sesso. So if I were to try and combine someone else with Sesso, it says Nina with, that's an odd way of saying it, but that would actually unequip the shaman from Nina. Anyways, let's combine Sana with Sten. So the second possible result of a combination is that the character in question will have a palette swap. So we can see that Sten's vest turned red. And that doesn't really do anything special, except that I guess it's probably a larger than normal increase. So Sana, the fire shaman, tends to increase a character's offense, or is it offense or strength? It's probably strength. But yeah, so that makes Sten pretty darn good. So he's actually got more offense than Ryu right now, which is interesting. He's got significantly less strength, so I guess Sana has to go directly into the offense stat. So yeah. And the final possible result of a combination is that a character can change their graphic entirely. They basically just turn into a different character. And those are pretty interesting. I don't think we have access to any of them quite yet, but when we do, they shall be, as I said, interesting. I think I want to make a quick stop off in Windia. Or do I need to? No, I don't think that's not really necessary. I was going to say grab some equipment for Jean, but that would just be a waste of money at this point. So we can actually teleport back to SimaFort, but because we haven't actually been there yet, or actually it might not even matter if you haven't been there yet. I don't think you can teleport directly to SimaFort. because it's in the middle of the lake. So it just teleports you here. Eventually, there will be a little boat at this pier that we can take to the SimaFort, but not as of yet. So anyways, now that we're back here, I guess I might as well rest first. I don't know if it matters. I just want to get Gene's AP back. He doesn't have a whole lot of it. Each warp takes up about a third of his AP right now. But for the time being, I want to switch Rand in for Gene, because Rand is actually useful in combat. So let's go. This didn't do anything for his defense, so wow, Rand actually has pretty good defense. So let's go with let's actually just stick with normal. Do I want us to do that? In truth, I'm not 100% straight on what each of these formations actually does. I should probably look it up, but I think I'll go with that. What was that? Scramble? Defense, okay. So anyways, now we got our party all set up, so I want to come up here and follow the left side of this little river here into this cave. So I'm pretty sure that we could have taken this cave, or not taken, but gone to this cave before the Witch's Tower. This is called the Wildcat's Cave, or whatever you want to call it, by the way. But I decided to wait until afterwards, just because we're a little bit stronger at this point. Wildcat Restaurant, okay. So this place is interesting. So you might note that I made a point of using an herb before coming in here because we just checked our things. We have no more items on us. So if you read this note, they want us to deposit our helmets. And you don't have to say yes, but if you don't do it and you go up to the door entranceway thing at the top there will be a bouncer that you have to fight. And you don't necessarily want to do that. It's not the best idea. So we removed our helmets. We replaced our armor with napkins. This is all somewhat suspect. Basically no more equipment. I guess we probably still have accessories, but whatever. Strange indeed. Oh, we don't actually have accessories at all. That's interesting. And there should be one more, I think. Okay, now this one is the most important of all. You have to decide how you want your meat. And you definitely 100% unequivocally want to say rare. The reason being, when we walk in here, this is actually a giant skillet, or whatever the proper term for it is. I don't really know. And the higher setting you set your meat to, the more it cooks your party. So now we have to fight this fellow, the Wildcat. And our health is decreased, but if we had chosen a higher setting, we would have even less. So first things first, we want to use a dragon attack. Let's use Cure 1 on Sten. It's important to keep the characters who are transformed at high health, because if a character gets down to critical status where they're like collapsed on the ground, when they are let's actually try using power down. Anyways, if a character gets into critical status when they are transformed, they actually lose their transformation and they just kind of return to normal. So that's something we want to try and avoid. And I think it's possible that if you had chosen a well done for your meat, that your party might actually start off in... well, that didn't work. critical status, which obviously would kind of defeat the purpose of combining before we got here. So I guess next up will be Nina. This guy can be... Actually, let's try using... Bomb. Might do more damage? I'm not sure. I'm not gonna try debuffing this guy anymore. Ow! Well, that hurt. Yeah, not quite as much as his physical attack. So yeah, this guy can be pretty nasty. But luckily, with Ryu's Dragon Attack, that takes out most of his HP. And it's somewhat unfortunate that Ryu didn't get any of that experience, but... okay. Ultimately, Ryu's going to be in every fight in the game, basically, so... I'm not especially worried about him getting experience in every single possible fight. And you saw there, the biggest downside to Renew is it only has a 70% chance of working, so it failed, I think, twice? So that kind of sucks. So anyways, we come up here, and this is the restaurant. There's also a toilet. This game's actually pretty good about putting toilets in lots of locations. Cook the weak people, huh? Well, okay then. So, for this, I believe you want to say no. And you want to say that, yes, you are soft-hearted. Yay! I believe I want to teach this trick to Rand. Reason being, Rand, he doesn't really have a whole lot by way of offensive abilities. And you learn Chop Chop, which is an offensive ability. Basically to shred food, that's very descriptive. So, yeah. It might have been better to teach it to Sten now that I think of it, but it doesn't make a big deal. Not a big difference one way or another. The thing to note about this sequence is that depending on what you actually answer to this guy, you get different rewards. I think you can get no reward, or you can get, like, plus 5 HP or something silly like that. So we don't have to go through the intermediary areas anymore. We can just go straight in between the restaurant and the entrance. So that is handy. So we are here back at the camp. And unfortunately for this sequence, we need Jean in our party. So I think I'm going to go with Kat, Sten, and Jean. It's a kind of strange party, but I'll go with it for now. So what we need to do is, as I have kind of alluded to a few times, we have to take Jean and float on over to the SimaFort here. So this is his hometown. You can see it is inhabited by frogs. Yay! Or not? When the weather gets warm, huh? Don't do a headlock on me. I can't say I ever noticed the silliness of that line before. So they don't seem to have an especially warm welcome for their supposed prince. Which is the real Prince Jean? So... No. Okay. It just occurred to me, has Sten reverted back to his normal form? Did that happen when... I don't think it happened when I switched party members. It must have happened immediately upon arriving at SimaFort here. Anyways, before we actually do leave, I believe... Oh no, we can't actually take part of the stores because, well, the shopkeepers aren't there. Ooh, a deluxe rod. That's, oh, there they are. Okay. So let's buy some stuff, because I like to buy stuff. So starting off with a long rapier. I should probably be trading. That's a decent upgrade. Bronze stick. Oh, that's a real nice upgrade. Iron armor is probably better than iron mail. Oop. It's kind of annoying that it puts her cursor back at the top of the shop. I wish it didn't. Night hat is worse than the socklet armor, or whatever the heck that is. Better than that. I don't know what a backlaw is supposed to be, but it increases my defense, so I will take it. It's kind of annoying that they don't have any equipment for Sten. Sten may not have been the best option for this party, considering it also switched him out of his combination mode thing. Actually, it doesn't tell me what they actually do. I want to sell the long sword, right? Because this is the long rapier. Okay. I actually didn't spend all that much money here. Right, I want to see what this wise ball thing actually does. Restores 100 AP. And up here we have the inn, but there's people in the way. So, anyways. Oop. I didn't mean to do that, but whatever. Doesn't really matter. So, things in SimaFort have gone a little bit awry, and unfortunately our ride, aka Jean, has been taken away, assumedly to prison. So we don't really have much of a way out of this place at the moment, but we will figure all that out on the next episode of Let's Play Breath of Fire 2. Catch you later.